Hello, welcome to Trust Me on Fat. I'm Starla, and today I'm going to make my Irish soda bread that turned out so great in my corned beef and cabbage video. If you haven't watched that one yet, you should check it out. It's on my channel. I've already gotten a couple, one little part started. I have half a cup of warm water in here, like lukewarm water, with 2 teaspoons of yeast that I keep in my fridge. You can just use one of the little packets. If that's the kind of yeast that you use at home, then use it. That's what you should use. Use the kind you like. So mine's already been sitting here for about 5 minutes or so. Proofing? I don't know. I don't think that's the right word. Whatever. Anyways, it's ready. And I put it in here. Let's see here. Let me start. There's 2 teaspoons of yeast, or 1 packet of yeast, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and half a cup of warm water in this bowl. To that, I am going to add 1 cup of warm buttermilk. Now, when you warm up your buttermilk, it's going to look kind of chunky like this. It's okay. That's what it's going to do. Buttermilk separates. And in that, I had my 2 tablespoons of warm butter. Use whatever butter you want, salted, unsalted, Irish butter, not Irish, it doesn't matter. Mine is Irish butter today, Kerrygold butter, and that's in there. And we are going to add 1 cup of flour to this, and we're going to mix it on low till it's nice and smooth. And I like to use my stand mixer. You can mix it by hand if you really want, or if you don't have a stand mixer, but I do, so I'm going to use it so my arms don't get too tired. I'll show you when we're done. Okay, it only takes about a minute or so to do that, and it gets nice and smooth. There's no lumps or clumps of anything in there. That buttermilk smooths right out. Now I'm going to switch from my whisk, and I'm going to use my dough kneader because I don't knead dough by hand because that's too hard on my arms. So now we're going to add 2 more tablespoons of sugar. And in this, I have a half a teaspoon of baking soda and half a teaspoon of salt. And I'm just going to mix those a little bit together. And then we're going to dump this in to our bowl. And that's 2 more cups of flour. So total, there's 3 cups of flour in here so far. And now I'm going to knead this with the dough hook, and I'm going to add, it's anywhere from 3.5 to 4 cups of flour total. So I've got me another cup of flour here that I will sprinkle in as it is kneading. You can, if you're doing this by hand and you're stirring it, stir in however much flour you want till you get the dough that you want. If it starts getting too hard to stir, then obviously you start kneading. You're going to want to knead it for 6 to 8 minutes until a nice soft dough forms. And it's, I'll show you when it gets to the texture you're looking for, because I don't know how to explain it. Anyways, here we go. If you are using a mixer, you definitely want to start it out slow. So if you just turn it up to high right away, it's going to flour everywhere, just so you know. There we go. That's starting to come together. Also, before I add any extra flour, I am going to add my raisins in while it's mixing. You'll want to do that before you start kneading. You'll add your raisins in. This is 3/4 of a cup of golden raisins. You can use the golden raisins or regular raisins. That's what I used last time, was regular raisins, and it was delicious. So it doesn't really matter which one you use, just whichever one you like. So I'm going to put mine in because my dough's mixed pretty good, and I'm going to get it to where it'll mix a little bit more and knead it, and I'll start adding some flour. Oh, that's looking good. It's just right. I'll show you the texture you're looking for. You don't want it to be real sticky, but you don't want it to be like really dry either. See, I can handle it, and it's sticking a little bit, but it's not bad. Then it's pretty good. I will add just a touch more flour to it so I can knead it a little tiny bit by hand. Just a little bit. It's just about perfect. Yeah, that's looking great. Just giving just a little knead here on the counter. See? Perfect. And I'm just going to form it into a little ball here. Well, I guess that's a kind of a big ball. Now we're going to put it into a bowl. Oh, and that 4th cup of flour, I used about half of it is all. So depending on where you're at, you might need the full 4 cups, depending on how humid it is where you are. Where I live, it is not humid. It's raining today. It's still not even that humid. It's just really dry here. That's what happens when you live in the West. Everything is just desert. So anyway, you can oil this pan with whatever oil you want. I choose to spray it with Pam spray because then I don't use a ton. And I'm going to put the top down and flip it over. Just oil the top so it doesn't dry out. Cover it with a little bit of saran wrap. And then in about an hour, anywhere 40 minutes to an hour, whenever it gets doubled, we will come back and do the next step to get it ready to start getting ready for the oven. And we'll see you back in just a bit. Okay, so it's time to get our dough done. I have been gone because I went and had lunch with my sweetie, and I got a little sidetracked. Anyways, I have been gone a little longer than anticipated. So my dough rose quite a bit, which is fine. It's not going to hurt anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a cookie sheet with a piece of parchment. And if you have this trouble with your parchment paper, just crinkle it. And now it'll stay open on my pan. So now we're going to punch our dough down, and we're going to move it here to this. We're just going to knead it a little tiny bit to make it into a ball. And my counter was lightly floured, of course. I don't want all that flour on the outside of it. I mean, if you want flour all over the outside because you like your bread that way, then do it. But I don't really care for my bread like that. So, but I'll eat all bread. I don't really care, but I do, but I don't. But anyway, so we're just going to make it into this little dough ball. I want it to look a little prettier than that. So we're going to work it just a little bit more. There we go. Now it's looking a little better. Now that looks pretty. See? We're just going to put it in the center of our pan here. And then we're going to get a sharp knife. Excuse me. Wow, I made a mess. So I like to use, and this is just my personal preference, I like to use a fillet knife because it's super duper sharp. My husband got these Danco ones for me, and they are like really sharp. And you just want to make a little, like a 1/4 inch cut of an X or cross, whatever you want to call it, on the top there. Like about 1/4 inch deep, not very deep. And we're going to cover this and we're going to let it rise for about 30 or 40 minutes. And then we're going to bake it in the oven at 375 for about 30-35 minutes till it turns a nice, beautiful brown. And I will show you when it comes out of the oven. And I know it's going to be beautiful. I love making bread. I'm not good at it, but I love to try. So we'll see what happens. Well, it's been 30 minutes and I just got it out of the oven and it smells amazing. Look how beautiful it turned out. It's just the perfect shade of brown. It's nice and, can you hear it? But as it sits and cools, it will soften. And it's just the softest bread. It's tender. It's sweet. It's good. It's just perfect. While it's hot, we're going to sneak a little piece just to see how this loaf turned out. The loaf I made earlier this week turned out really good. And so I know this one's going to be really, really good. So we're just going to sneak a little tiny bit. I'm not going to fully cut it because you should let it cool first, but I'm not going to. Oh. Ooh, hot. Oh. I mean, it just came out. I mean, like, just came out. So she is hot. Oh, it's beautiful. Got those raisins in it. Ah, it's just the perfect amount of softness and fluffy. Little sweet, just right. You can taste the raisins. They're right there. There's one. So good. Yeah, nailed it. So, if you're looking for an easy bread recipe, this is it. I do have another bread recipe that's really, really, really easy. But for St. Patrick's Day, this one, hands down, my favorite. Irish soda bread. You like raisins? Put them in. You don't like raisins? Leave them out. You won't regret making this. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. That's my first goal. And then, obviously, it would be neat if we could get more. So our first goal is 500 subscribers. And so please share this video on Facebook, send it to a text to your friend. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. I just appreciate you watching this video. So thank you. I hope you have a great St. Patrick's Day, and we'll see you soon. Bye.